Hey, greetings, friends. So we wanted to say hello to everyone and also apologize. It has been so long since we vlogged, and we've been busy. But the point of this video is to bring you up to speed on where we've been, where we are, and where we're going.
Carpenter, Carpenter, won't you build us a home? One true and straight where our children may grow.
The last time we left off with the vlog, we had just purchased our trailer. That was right before Christmas. So we got back and we moved all the way into the trailer and we returned to the Big Bear Homestead for a week. We had some difficulties.
We did. So while we were at Big Bear Homestead, we had the opportunity to slaughter some hogs, some American Guinea crosses that they had. We were there for the birth of Calf Pow, which was a lot of fun. We also had the opportunity to do some early spring cleaning. We had the opportunity to help Jason and Robin clean up their property. A couple extra sets of hands go a long way for that. And another thing that came out of our time there was the opportunity to meet some other homesteaders from North Georgia. We had the chance to meet Jason and Lauren from Cattywampus, and we met Sydney from The Naked Gardener, and we had the chance to meet Mark from Wonderlust. So after a week at the Big Bear Homestead, one of the toolboxes on the back of the truck began to leak. And if you'll remember, when we transitioned from the fifth wheel to the bumper pole, we had to put stuff places. And so we put two 72-inch toolboxes on the back that we bought from Home Depot, and one of them leaked.
Yep.
And in order to get that fixed, it took 2 weeks and 3 toolboxes from the Hartwell, Georgia Home Depot, and that was the initial thing that caused our delay and allowed us to spend more than just a week at Jason and Robin's. And once we got the toolbox situated,
Well, we put the toolbox in the rain because there was going to be a big rainstorm. We wanted to verify that it didn't leak. So we put it out in the rain, and while we're kind of reined in our trailer, our trailer started leaking.
yes.
And it was dripping down the inside of our trailer. So we had to get that fixed. And of course, because we just bought it, it's a warranty issue. So we had to go through all of the frustration and stuff going with the warranty.
Mm-hmm.
We had to decide whether we were going to go back to the West Coast to get the work done or stay where we were in Georgia and get it fixed. So we opted to stay in Georgia because I found a place that would look at it within a week instead of like 3 months.
Right.
So we stayed there and we initiated it, but it took about 4 weeks for Forest River to get their act together and scheduling the trailer in for us to get it in.
Yeah. So in the meantime, while all of this is going on, we're still at the Big Bear Homestead, and then
The greatest medical crisis of all time.
We can't stop it.
Your town is being quarantined.
so we had some choices to make, and at this point we'd been at Big Bear for about 6 weeks, so we opted to get going and get on the road. So we departed the first week in March, and we went up to Lake Lanier in north of Atlanta, hung out for a little while, just sort of, collecting ourselves, getting things going. Katie had to fly to California for business, and so it was an early flight, and we could pull our house behind us. So we just drove down to Forsyth, Georgia, because it was only 45 minutes from the Atlanta airport, and we had the opportunity to go to, what's the town?
Juliet, Georgia.
Juliet, Georgia, which, if you don't know, is the home of the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. That's where they filmed it.
Itchy and her friend Ruth ran the Whistle Stop Cafe.
So we went to the Whistle Stop Cafe, had our obligatory plate of fried green tomatoes.
Yep.
The chicken fried steak was awesome.
Pulled pork was amazing.
The chef did something awesome with the rutabaga. They have a full southern menu, and the stuff is all homemade.
Yep.
It was amazing, and it was awesome. So we went right before Katie left, and then we went right after Katie got back.
Yeah, we went twice. I did have the ribs once.
Yes,
so
the
I had to have the ribs.
the abusive ex-husband ribs. So
They were pork.
yes, so we finished up our time in Forsyth, and our time in Forsyth ending coincided with the warranty work on the trailer beginning.
So we decided to rent a cabin, an adventure cabin at Fort Yargo State Park which I highly recommend if you're
Yes.
ever wanting to glamp. This is the place. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath cabin. They've recently redone them. They were super nice. They had a screened-in porch out back. You could see the lake. It was so peaceful. So we hung out there for about 4 days. We got to visit with Jason and Lauren at Cattywampus and help them with a couple projects.
Yep. Go check out their channel, and you can see Jason and I building installing some gutters and building an overhang on the side of their shop. When the work was done on the trailer in Winder, Georgia, it was Atlanta RV. Mark at Atlanta RV treated us so well. If you're in that area and you need any kind of RV work done, reach out to Mark. Amazing guy. His team treated us very well. A fast turnaround. But with Outbreak 2020, there were a lot of uncertainties about living on the road and being itinerant with park closures and stuff.
Well, campgrounds were starting to close. All state and county parks were closing, and that was going to put a lot of undue pressure on the independent parks that were still open. So without knowing, without having a crystal ball,
right,
and not knowing what to do, we decided to just kind of head home.
Head home, right? And so to borrow the words from Meg Holler and communicating with her, we were joking about having to go back to California, but her reply was, it's better to be with the devil that you know. And so on Thursday we picked up the trailer. Friday morning at 5 a.m. we got up, packed the kids in the truck with the RV, and we drove in 6 days 2,900 miles. We went from Winder, Georgia to West Memphis, Arkansas, to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to Tucumcari, New Mexico, and then on to Williams, Arizona, which is just west of Flagstaff, then to Bakersfield, and then on the 6th day we drove from Bakersfield to where we are now.
Northern California.
Northern California. Where are we staying in Northern California?
So we are staying on a family ranch that's been in our family for over 100 years. They acquired it in 1914. It was my great-grandparents. And we'll be telling the story in some later videos, but it's basically a conglomerate of several original 1850 homesteads during the Homestead Act during the Gold Rush. Mm-hmm. We're actually standing right in front of a homestead structure. Now this homestead, they planted an orchard. By the time that my great-grandparents got here, it was a 50-year-old orchard. No, 60-year-old orchard.
Yeah.
So it was a well-established orchard with apples and pears and plums. But the interesting thing is there's winter apples and there's crab apples. So I think they're more like cider or baking apples.
Ooh,
so
cider.
Our family doesn't live here. It's owned collectively. It's a miracle that it's been around for 100 years or more. And it's managed by some lessees that run it as a working cattle ranch still to this day. But there's a family home that we stay at. So there's 2 houses, one for the lessees and one for our family. And no one was going to be here for the next few months. So we decided to crash here for the next few months.
We had a place to go home to.
Yep. So a safe place to shelter in place. So that's where we are.
Yep. We're here in Northern California riding out the outbreak of 2020. And we invite you to stay tuned for some homestead fun and for some shenanigans. We may be here for a few months, so we're going to do what we can to make the best of that time, bring you guys along for the ride, and we're really going to focus on making some memories with our children. 2 of our 3 children know the ranch. Our youngest, the Ginger, has never been here at a time when he would remember it.
He was about 6 months old last time he was here.
So it's going to be fun. So we get to experience one of our children experiencing it really for the first time. And we want to bring you guys along for that. Have fun. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands because it's 2020 and we're all adults, but we need to tell each other that now all of a sudden. So keep your family close and your friends distant, socially distant, the appropriate 6 feet. And be well, do well, and we look forward to bringing you along for this new season of our lives.